to the very first episode of iHRL Shorts, I guess. Why is it called iHRL Shorts? I'm sure you're asking. Because it's short. That's all there is to it. It's gonna be an easier to digest kind of form of a mini podcast, if you will. I suppose introductions. I am Mason Howard, your host. My co-host Walker Ward is not here today, but today I'm going to be breaking down my 50th through 41st player out of my top 50 rankings. So you probably came from the Instagram. That's where you saw 50 through 41 released tonight, and you're probably thinking, Mason, why'd you rank them that way? Well, that's why you're here, is to hear me explain why I ranked them that way. So without further ado, let's get into it. 5-0, Karsten Graba, CJ. CJ was a dude I played with last year in the Hunters. He is a great teammate. Let's not get that twisted with where he's ranked. He is a great teammate. And if this was a list of guys who just work hard and make plays for their teams, CJ would not be 50th. The reason he's here is because he's just not the biggest guy in the world, and he's not the quickest guy in the world. So when it comes to the defensive end, he is a little bit of a liability. And when it's okay to be a defensive liability if you have an extensive offensive game to kind of make up for it, which he doesn't necessarily have yet. So I'm putting CJ here just off those two reasons alone. However, I do think he has potential to move up, as with all these guys. This is not set for the rest of the year. This is just kind of preseason, but going into the rest of the year, there's a chance these guys get moved around. So CJ is at 50. 49, Henry Root. Henry Root is a guy that's interesting. He is coming off of some major knee surgeries with an S at the end of there, and he hasn't played a lot of basketball in the last year, from what I know. However, he is getting healthier right now, from my sources, and he should be good to go this summer, from what I've heard. He is a bigger kid for being only 15 years old, I'm guessing. He's a young guy. But like I said, he hasn't played a lot of basketball in the last year, and I'm a little bit worried about that rest factor. However, there's definitely some guys that haven't played basketball since last rookie season either, so we're all a little rusty to start the year. Henry, young guy, has some knee injuries, put him at 49. 48, Jack Lawson. Jack Lawson is a guy that many Rucker players and fans should know. He's been in the league for a year. I think he subbed before then. He does have a football build. So if this was HRL football season, he'd be probably top 10. Does that translate to the basketball court all the time? Not necessarily. Okay, so he can body down low with these big guys, but he doesn't necessarily have the height to go up there and block a shot. And then also when he's posting up, he doesn't have the height to necessarily go above a guy and finish. He can knock down the three ball occasionally, but it's not as consistent as the guys ahead of him. So those are the reasons that he's ranked at 48. 47, Hayden Lostun. Hayden is a guy with prior basketball experience, and if you knew Hayden when he was in high school, he was a phenomenal athlete. The one problem, he's not in high school anymore. So does he still have that athleticism, that quick step, that explosion to the rim? I'm going to guess not as much as maybe some other guys who are still out of high school. That's not to say he's not going to be a valuable asset to the team. I see him being a late fourth, mid to mid fifth round pick, just based off of him being a solid sized dude. He's strong. He can make some buckets. I've seen him come to open gyms before. So he's going to be a good fourth or fifth round pick for whoever drafts him. And that just goes to show, like, him getting ranked low kind of just shows how deep this draft class is this season. 46, Maddox Rindles. Maddox Rindles is another dude who's just tall, has some good size. He's not as thick as maybe you want in a big man. However, he can help to anchor that defense. If he can slide into the paint, get his hand up, contest some shots, he's pretty solid in the offensive end. I was just talking to some of my sources, and they were recounting times last year that he started hitting the tray ball pretty consistently, and he helped win some game for the Knights. So Maddox Rindle is a dude that I think will go in the fourth or fifth round. I have him ranked as a fifth rounder right now, but he will provide value to any team that does draft him. Elias Jan is going to be an interesting draft choice this year. And why do I say that? I don't know much about the guy. I really don't. However, I think his passion for basketball and for Rucker ball has something to be said for. I think guys who show up and just want to win so dang badly do provide value to a team. I think Elias Jan has played a good amount of basketball before in 3-on-3 leagues. I think he might be in a league right now. So does that kind of take away from his passion, his ties to record basketball? That might. I'm putting him at 45 as kind of a dark horse guy. I don't know a lot about him. I don't think he's going to be a superstar, an all-star, or a starter in this league. But I think that if you want to take a chance on a dude who you know is going to show up and play hard, Elias Jan might be your guy. 44, Ethan Kingsley. Ethan Kingsley is a dude that I think every team will want to draft as a 4 or 5 on their team. Ethan can shoot lights out when he's in the game. He can get inside, hit a floater or two. He's a younger guy. So when you're drafting younger guys, the basketball IQ is not always there, as well as just the stature and the athleticism that you see in these 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Those younger guys don't necessarily have it. So that is the one knock on Ethan, is that he's not the biggest guy in the world, and he's not the quickest guy in the world. And he's a little bit more of a defensive liability than you would maybe like in a late round draft pick, because at the end of the day, we're trying to stop the team from getting to 21. However, he does have that offensive game that is appealing to some teams, and he did hit some big shots for the Suns last year on their playoff run. 43, Parker Wangan. Parker Wangan, you probably could be ranked higher in this list. I'm putting a couple of rookies above you right now. I've been playing some runs with Parker Wangan. He's a good-sized kid who can play some solid defense. If he's guarding Rylan Ristow, Rylan takes it personally or something and goes off. I just found that out recently. But Parker Wangan's another young guy who I think will keep on improving if he stays in the league every year. He is not as much of a liability on defense. However, his offensive game isn't as extensive as maybe some other guys. So I'm putting him here as a high 5th round type of guy, again, due to the depth of this league. But I think that if he gets into the right system where he can be more maybe a catch and shoot player, cut to the rim type of guy, and then just guarding the third best player in the other team, I think that he can find a good role in that and be a really solid player in this league. 42, Nolan Garnis, another young guy, high school kid from Mabel Canton. When I watched the breakdown on this kid, he's a sharpshooter. If you look at his huddle highlights, it is 3 3-pointers this game, 5 3-pointers this game, 4 3-pointers this game. Now, where do we play? Outdoors. What does Father Time always text the group chat before a Sunday at the Rucker? Play the wind. Can this dude play the wind? If he's going to be a guy that's going to be kind of a 3-and-D set shooter type of guy, is he going to be able to account for those windy days, those windy Sundays? There's quite a bit of them. I think it's really important to be able to understand which direction the wind's going in and quickly be able to think on the fly, oh, I need to shoot this a little to my left so then the wind takes it a little to my right. So I think Nolan Garnis is going to be an interesting draft choice. I think he's going to be a good shooter for the league. And I think a lot, don't I? He's going to be a fun guy come off the bench for if teams decide to draft him. I gotta stop saying I think so much, don't I, guys? 41, Brevin Tollefsrud. Now, you're probably sitting watching me thinking, Tollefsrud, I recognize that name, because there's a million of them, all from Mabel. And Brevin, just another kid in that line of just stud athletes. Brevin is here at 41 because he, again, would be a top pick in the HRL Football League when we decide to make that. However, does that translate as much to the basketball court? My sources have told me that Brevin believes hustle is free. Shout out Father Time. And will hustle to loose balls, be ready to just grind out a game. Now, is that offensive game there? I don't know. I haven't seen. And that's why he's kind of a guy you're going to take a chance on a little bit. I believe he has that Jeremy O'Connor archetype. And Jeremy O'Connor is going to be, he is a valuable asset to any team that drafts him because he's going to play tough defense. He's going to go get loose balls. He's going to go get offensive rebounds. I think Brevin Tollefsrud will be just like that. Just not as tall of a guy. I think he's taller than Jeremy is. Might be closer to my height. But I think he's going to be a taller, thicker dude who's going to go get offensive rebounds, loose balls, hustle plays, and he will be a really valuable 4th or 5th round pick for whatever team decides to draft him. Now, I'm going to get going because it is getting late here. I want to edit this, get this out to you guys. If you guys are watching this on Monday night, that means I did my job well, kind of. And I will get out my 40th through 31st player picks tomorrow with a video. And I'm excited to keep on getting this ball rolling. If you have any, if you love a choice of a player where a player is, leave me a comment. If you hate a choice where a player is, leave me a comment. I want to hear what you guys think of this list. Tell me where I messed up. Tell me who should be higher. I can still change this. I can make changes as we go along, but I want you guys to help me do that as well because I'm only one man, two men when we have Walker with me. So I'm excited to keep this train rolling. I hope you guys are too. Peace.